Hello and welcome to a Toyota. You probably know that already judging by this big badge. This is a 2021 Prado VX-L, and most importantly, this is no longer the 3-litre diesel. This is now finally the 2.8 GD6. In terms of capacity, it is smaller than the 3-litre, but it is a lot more powerful, packing 150 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters, combined with the new 6-speed automatic gearbox. Now I can take this car off-road to Caravans 4x4, Whirling Clip. There's a new trail in Conqueror that I saw when I go try. But I think what most people would like to see, and a lot of comments that we've been getting, is real world testing. And for that, there's a little surprise in the back. So, as you can see, this is the surprise. Our Conqueror trailer, fully loaded up, brimmed full, water tanks filled up. It is as heavy as we could possibly get it without it being overweight. And this is our version of a real world test. Now I can tell the Prado is wonderful off-road. We actually own an older Prado. They are just wonderful cars off-road. They ride brilliantly, and we've got a 4-litre V6. Pulls like an absolute train, especially with the trailer on. So I think I'm in the position to be able to do this and actually be able to relay how it feels and how it compares to, okay, granted an older Prado, but how the 2.8 compares to the 4-litre V6 in terms of towing. But just in case you want some off-road specs, center and rear diff lock. I call it hybrid suspension. There's probably a technical term for it. It has coil suspension with airbags on top, so there is height adjust. You might notice the trailer is sagging a bit. That's because the tow bar is on what I call fender mode. I just didn't have the time to put it up on the higher tow bar setting. There are various 4x4 modes you can select when you're on low 4. I've already done a bit of a stint with the trailer on the highway, but for a proper test I've brought it to Palm Mountain to take it along the pass. I'll call it the pass, but the road. It's gravel, loose, there's a few steep sections, few tight corners. So I think this is quite a apt test to see how the Prado handles a near 1-ton off-road trailer. Okay, let's get the show on the road. So as I mentioned, this is the new 2.8 GD6, or not new, but new to the Prado 2.8 GD6 with the power upgrades that came along with the new Hilux and Fortuner, so 150 kilowatts, 500 Newton meters, 6-speed gearbox. On-road performance without the trailer at least is very good. Your 50 to 120 is this car's acceleration sweet spot or power sweet spot. Above that it suffers from typical small 4-cylinder diesel problems. But again, I don't think you are really going to be racing this car on the N1 against GTIs and stuff. This is a overlander, and it is probably one of the most capable overlanders due to the fact that it has all the modes you could ever want. Center and rear diff lock, height adjustable suspension, but not full air suspension, so a lot more reliable than just straightforward air suspension. If something had to happen to the airbags, at least you still have coil suspension. Like I mentioned, my father owns a Prado. It's a 2003 with now 260,000 kilometers on, so we've done our fair share of traveling in it. Most notably, we did a Cape Town, Namibia, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Sun City, obviously, trip, and that just once again proved or showcased how good the Prado really is. FYI, I don't even feel the trailer at any point now. I noticed the best mode to tow in, because there's now, I think it's 5 different driving modes that you can pick. It is Comfort, Eco, Normal, Sport and Sport Plus. When you're towing a trailer, put it in Sport Plus. It just makes the throttle response a bit sharper, like it would be if you were not towing a trailer and you're in normal mode. Eco or Comfort, the throttle is heavily subdued, which at times you actually probably do want, but towing a trailer up a pass like this where you want the response, Sport Plus is the way to go. While we're on the inside, interior wise, I sound like such a Prado fanboy, so I'll try my best not to be in any way, shape or form biased, but it is sublime. It's better than the Hilux and the Fortuner. It's luckily, there's a certain sense of Toyota familiarity. All the materials are extremely high quality. It feels Toyota. I would imagine that all these materials will stand the test of time. By that I mean when the cars only run in at 300,000 kilometers, like most Toyotas are. But yeah, infotainment, it is the new, I think this is a 10-inch screen, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, again cable based, but that just seems to be the way the manufacturers are doing it. It's not my favorite. I have been in one or two cars, again, it's very rare, but where it's, you don't have to use a cable, but that is not always the most reliable system. On the topic of interior as well, NVH levels, there's, just like with the Fortuner and the Hilux, there's enough engine sound so you know what the engine is doing. It's not dead quiet in here. Vibrations is handled extremely well. There's no rattles. Now I know what you're going to say. Oh, it's all well, it's performs well, tows well, it's all the off-road toys you could ever want. Interior is great, looks are decent. Don't get into this color. I've already washed a car like 3 times in the past week because I hate dirty cars, or cars that show dirt rather. The problem with this car, and once you've driven it you'll understand why, but the price tag, it is 1.193 million rand, which is a considerable amount of money. But again, with Fortuner, Hilux, all those cars, it sounds like a broken record. You're buying Toyota reliability. So getting back to the Prado and the price tag, it is a lot of money, considering that it's fighting in the price class of the new Land Rover Defender. Although I will say that this is the top of a range model, where with the Defender you're looking at a base model. Is it worth the money? And again, it's difficult for me to give my opinion on the Prado without sounding biased. But as a journalist and a car reviewer, it's my job to be unbiased and be able to put personal feelings aside, and memories for that matter. And yes, it is worth the money. The 4-litre V6 is a bit more expensive. Don't know if I would necessarily go for it though. This is a very, very capable package, and if you would like to see a proper 4x4 off-road trail test, again something like win and clip, which I haven't done yet and I'm very curious to go do it, and maybe this is the car to go do it in. If you would like to see that, please comment below, give the video a like, share it with your friends. It actually helps us being able to show those comments to manufacturers and say, the people want to see this, can we get the car back for a second try? And then we can go do a trip maybe, do a couple of trails and get it in different scenarios, maybe one sand trail. And I know some people don't like sand, but sand is a great equalizer of all cars. I know Win and Clip has a bit of a mix of everything, so maybe that is the ideal trail. If you would like to see us do a proper trail test, just comment below. It gives us, as a judge would say, hard evidence to be able to take to a manufacturer. But for now, we're just doing a real world test. I promised myself I'm going to keep this review short and sweet, and on that note, overall impressions of the Prado with the 2.8, absolute cracker of a car. It tows very well, even in more challenging circumstances. I would have loved to tow it in some extremely challenging circumstances, but it's a press car, so it's not always that easy. And of course the question is it worth 300,000 or 400,000 rand more than a Fortuner? And if you have big family, remember it's 7 seats and the rear seats are electric, which is an added little bonus. If you're towing a caravan or a trailer, I'd say this is the car for you without a doubt. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe, comment down below if you would like to see us do a proper off-road test in the future. Again, remember to follow us on all our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. To stay up to date with the latest 4x4 news, tech and gear items, subscribe to our newsletter or download our free app on the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.